Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex. So the Falcons 1-1 and the Carolina Panthers coming to town. A little revenge spot.
Charlotte, buddy.
Charlotte?
We're going to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about the home and the way. I was like, did they rename to the Charlotte Panthers? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But a little bit of a revenge spot. First home game for the Panthers. I don't know if that means anything for the crowd out there in Carolina, but Falcons lost 41-38, went to overtime. They never got the ball back, or 41-34. What was it? They scored a touchdown?
A lot of points. Who cares?
Anyways, they won at the end of last season, ended our season. I know that the Saints ended up losing to the Bucks, but that was a game that the playoffs were on the line there. And the Falcons' defense was absolutely pathetic. And I think that's where this matchup starts, because now we have this revamped defense against a Carolina offensive line that's missing two starters that was not good to begin with. And when you look at this matchup, even without A.J. Terrell, which we do not think he's going to play after suffering a hamstring injury, it starts up front. Like, you should dominate. If this pass rush is as good as we think it has the potential to be and as good as we think it can be, they should dominate this game up front, and it should not end. It should just end right there. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, they get paid too. Make no question about it. Like, everybody in this league gets paid. This is not, FBS versus an FCS school. This is the NFL. So you can't take anybody lightly. And especially if you're the Falcons, where we're just now starting to see the momentum. We're just starting to see the ball rolling. With that being said, this shouldn't be close. This should not be close. And for a couple of reasons. You just mentioned, I can name the players on the Panthers on one hand that strike fear into opposing teams. It starts Derek Brown, and then it's a pretty significant drop-off. But Derek Brown – it's probably going to cause us some troubles, whether the interior offensive line. That guy's just we've played two of the best interior defenders in Vita Vea and Derek Brown, and then Jonathan Allen too for the Vikings. So this interior offensive line's got their hands full. Tech McMillan, I think he's actually really, really good. And if he was surrounded by a little bit better talent, I think he's looked solid. I think he's really good. Like, I think he's actually really good. It just so happens that he plays in a bad system, or, there's just no talent. So even if Bryce Young is better than he is, he can't show it. And Tech McMillan's the same way. Dave Canales is the same way, where we saw Dave Canales in that Tampa Bay offense look like one of the best offenses in the league. So, like, they just have no talent.
I'm starting to wonder how much of that has to do with just Baker Mayfield.
I mean, it might be Baker.
Because it seems like everybody –
I want to talk about top 10 quarterbacks at a different later date, and the fact that there aren't 10 of the best quarterbacks. It's like 7 of the best quarterbacks, and then the rest are just, 8 through 16. Baker is a top 7 quarterback, neither here nor there. This shouldn't be close. It shouldn't be close at all. There should be some level of revenge, some level of it's not the Bucks and it's not the Saints, but it's still a division rival. Like, we still hate the Panthers, and it feels like their fan base is riding this high from 2024 of the season finale that needs to be extinguished.
Well, I don't know how it could still be going. Maybe they were riding that into the season.
They almost came back last week.
Yeah, they did. They got an onside kick there, and it was like, oh my God, they actually have a chance to go down and take the lead. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it. But I mean, when you watch that Arizona game, it wasn't a close game. It turned in close at the end of the game, but Arizona at worst should have had the ball. I think one onside kick was recovered last season. Like, with the new rules, it's like almost impossible it is so stupid to recover an onside kick, and it happened with the Carolina Panthers, and they had a chance to win that game, but for 3 quarters, I mean, it was downright dominance. And this hot streak that Bryce Young had to end the last season, I don't know if it definitely has faded. I don't know if it's his fault, but he looks terrible out there. I mean, he does not look good out there. The weapons around him do not look good. The offensive line does not look good. The defense as a whole does not look good. Like, outside of Derek Brown, like, I want to go, like, in usual, we can go like, hey, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. There's so many different matchups to watch. But in this, it should be like, dude, they should go out and kick the hell out of the Carolina Panthers. They should go out and kill them. Now, that's not to say that it's going to happen. But they have every reason, every right to kill this team. Absolutely embarrass them. I mean, Michael Penix had his best game against this team. Like, they went up and scored 30-plus points. He had 3 touchdowns. Like, They have the weapons to go out there and run the ball, throw the ball, do whatever the hell they want against this Panthers defense. And with down a couple of offensive linemen defensively, you want to talk about building momentum going into some tough games. You get the Commanders and the Bills and the San Francisco 49ers coming up, building some confidence. Like, this is the game. This is the game you have to have. Like, very simply, you have to have it with those 3 games coming up. Like, you have to be 2-1 going into those 3 games.
I'll just say this. It doesn't matter how you win. Just win the game. Like, it literally, ugly wins count in this league just as much as the pretty wins. A pretty loss, nobody gives a damn in 3 months if it was a pretty loss versus an ugly loss. No, it's a loss. It's one more tick in the L column. And that's all you have to be concerned with. Because if you lose this game, if you're Raheem Morris, if you're the Falcons, it's going to be the same old that we're talking about. It's that Falcons team that we see the sparks, we see the vision, we see it coming to fruition, and then the wheels fall off. We shoot ourselves in the foot in the red zone. The defense does some dumb stuff. The special teams doesn't come through. We make coaching mistakes. Like, this is a game that it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. Now, with that being said, we should dog walk this team. I mean, it should not be close. I'm not saying the Falcons are Super Bowl contenders by any means. Well, I will be saying that if Michael Penix and this offense get it together. But this Panthers team is going to be battling for the number 1 overall pick this year. This is not, and especially after losing to the Bucs. You were 0-1 in the NFC South. You go to 0-2, and one of those losses being to the Panthers. You want to talk about a fan base who will just have their legs cut out from underneath them. I mean, this is just. I'm scared. I'm scared of this team, this Panthers team, because they're so bad. With that being said, that game at the season finale last year was a complete abomination on the defensive side of the ball. And I can say pretty confidently that is not going to happen again. In fact, I would argue that we're going to see something closer to what the Falcons did to J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings than what we did in the season finale. And there's one big reason. A.J. Terrell's out. And that's a huge loss. It's the fact that bum Jimmy Lake isn't calling plays. I mean, it's that simple. I don't care if A.J. Terrell's in or out. Even without A.J. Terrell, who's a tremendous loss, we cannot replace him. It shouldn't even be hard for this defense to stifle.
It starts up front. It shouldn't be hard at all. And this Panthers offensive line was not good, and it just got worse. After suffering a couple of injuries last week. And this is a perfect opportunity for these boys up front to get after it. And I know James Pierce Jr. has missed some practice and been limited in some practices, but that was the case last week, and he ended up playing, so hopefully he's out there. That would be a huge loss when you pair that with A.J. Terrell, but hopefully those boys up front are healthy and good to go on Sunday, and if that's the case, they should make Bryce Young's the living hell. And we've seen Bryce Young make tons of mistakes when he's under that pressure. We've seen him make just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. The problem was in that Week 18 matchup, we didn't pressure him. We let him just sit back there all day and play pitch and catch. Yeah. I don't believe that's going to happen.
I think it's going to be a really, really rough day for Bryce Young, who is all 5'10", 185 pounds. I mean, it is going to be a rough day. I've seen Zach Harrison take poops bigger than Bryce Young.
This should be one of those games that is scary for Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Like, we should inflict fear on Bryce Young. And we haven't been able to say that about a Falcons defense in a long time, but we're on the board. We're on the board. But I'll tell you what, quickest way off the board is you don't do that.
Yeah.
Quickest way off the board.
To one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah. And that's the scariest part, because like, these games almost aren't even, if they're going it like we hope they go, like they should go, they're going to be enjoyable, because there's not many times where we're out there beating the hell out of a team and inflicting pain.
When's the last time we blew out a team?
Well, I'd say the Vikings we pretty much blew out.
Okay. Dating back to Raheem Morris, Arthur Smith.
It's not
even the end of Dan Quinn's career.
It hasn't been a lot.
I mean, we've played in more one-score games, it feels like, than damn near any team. Now, I know it's the NFL.
And Vegas will tell you it's going to be a one-score game. Well,
I'll tell you this. Vegas is telling you what's the line, 6, 5.5, something like that. I mean, this team is a near double-digit favorite at home against this Carolina Panthers team. I don't care if we're at Charlotte. I mean, you can hear a pin drop in that stadium. It should not matter. We should be flirting with a double-digit win this week.
Yeah, I agree. Anything less would be underwhelming, but a win is a win.
A win is a win.
As you said. And all you really have to do here is avoid a loss, because the loss here with who you have coming up on the schedule.
Yeah.
the playoffs, the talk, what we're all talking about after 1 week. And that's, of course, the nature of fanhood, right? You see something good, all of a sudden, this is the 85 Bears. We've already touted that on this show in jest a little bit. But, I mean, the deflation of the entire fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even talk. You couldn't even convince me. Like, you couldn't have the best debater in the world come on this show if we lose to the Panthers on Monday and convince me this team's making the playoffs. You could.
What if Michael Penix goes out there, throws 450, 4 tutties,
and we lose still? Then our defense is
without AJ Terrell.
I'm not
pretty good argument.
I am not buying that for a second. And then of course we'll go and beat the Commanders somehow, and I'll be
then the Bills,
and I'll be bought right back in. But that's been the problem. Are we going to break this streak? Are we going to break this streak of blowing games that we should have won, whether it's, the Bucks where we had every opportunity to win that game, or whether it's a bad team coming into the matchup where we have no business losing this game, and then going and beating a team where we're looking at the Vikings on paper and we're like, hey, you know what? On the road, that's going to be a tough win. And then we beat the hell out of them. Like, are we going to break this streak and get some consistency? And to me, that lies on the guy that we've been most critical on the show about, which is Raheem Morris.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is really a coaching game. And I know I said that last week, and it honestly didn't even boil down to the coaching. It was the offensive and defensive lines that won against the Vikings, and it'll be true against the Panthers too. But just don't screw up. Don't give the ball away. Don't do some dumb stuff like give up a touchdown on special teams. This is a very, very big, just a coaching. Don't ask Michael Penix to do too much. If you're, third and long, don't do an all-out blitz and give up, something stupid. This is keep everything in front of you, and this game should be really easy.
Yeah, and speaking to that, the last thing I'll say about this matchup is only quarterback without a turnover-worthy play this season is Michael Penix Jr. And I think when you look at when you think about his last 5 starts, his first 5 starts, he has not put the ball in harm's way. He had 3 picks. 2 of them were off tip balls, and 1 of them the receiver threw the wrong route. So yes, he's been inaccurate, but even when you talk about
there's a difference between inaccuracy and decision making.
Yeah, he's not even throwing the ball in harm's way.
No.
And maybe we'd like him to open that up as he gets a little bit more confidence.
I'm fine with it now.
But right now, when you're playing a team like the Panthers, probably don't need to do that.
Definitely
don't need to do that. Just let the defense go to work. Run the ball with Bijan Robinson, take what the defense gives you, and they should get out of this game with a win. We're going to get into some college football. Big slate of games once again coming up after